Are you now a truck girl?
On the hill, and
Yeah.
there was a kids trying to close that door. It's a little bit difficult.
Cybertruck. There's a Cybertruck there. All right, we've been waiting a long time to test this one. This is the newest electric pickup truck from Chevrolet. It's the Silverado EV. It's big, it's got a massive battery, big, huge 24-inch wheels. However, unfortunately, I can't really test it this week because I'm actually in LA, and so I've actually enlisted the help of Cynthia. This is a good test because I want her to get into a pickup truck. I want a pickup truck, and she just doesn't want anything to do with it, but she has no choice this week. So she's driving this while I'm driving some other things out in California. So, all right, let's find out what Cynthia has to say about this new Silverado EV.
It's a good week with this big boy.
There's your teaser right there. Okay, before we find out if Cynthia has been converted into a truck girl, you know, I have been trying, and this was the best chance that I actually got. So let's just go over a few of the features, benefits, and the specs of this new truck here. Well, first of all, battery-wise, it's huge. This is like the largest battery that you can get in any EV right now. We're looking like 205 kilowatt hour battery. So this is shared at the same platform as the Hummer EV, as well as the GMC Sierra, even the Blazer, the Ultium platform. So 205. This is going to give you a range of 708 kilometers. That's 440 miles of range. Of course, it's going to depend on how you actually drive it, the weather, of course, all of that. But still, when you're starting with a number that high, it's going to really benefit if you're towing something, if you're hauling stuff, or for winter time, you're starting with a big thing. But when you have such a big battery, it comes one big negative. And what is that, Cynthia?
The charging time. Yeah, I'm very, very happy about the range we got on this truck. But yeah, that charging time.
Yeah, so, you know, like, so this will take up to, you can even use a 19.2 kilowatt charger. You can buy those, you know, anywhere really, and that's going to help. But when you have a battery this big, you got to think of this. This battery is almost 3 times the size as our long range Ioniq 5. So it's going to take you even about 10 hours with a 19.2 kilowatt charger. But the interesting thing is this is kind of a hybrid type of EV. See, it's a 400 volt system, but when you charge, it turns into an 800 volt system. So it can take up to 350 kilowatts. And that will actually give you 100 miles or 160 kilometers of charge in just 10 minutes. So which is so quick. Like that's amazing. But be aware, big battery, long charging time, but the bonus is if you're not hauling stuff, which we did not at all this week, unless Cynthia towed some horses that I didn't know about, it was basically you could charge it for one time for the whole week and just drive it the whole time.
Absolutely.
This is the 2024 model. For 2025, it even gets a bump from 708 to 740 kilometers, so even more range there. This is, by the way, the top of the line RST first edition. So top line, lots of goodies on here. So let's talk about the style. What do you think of the style?
The interior actually looks, I really like it. It's not super rugged, like doesn't have that very chucky look.
Yeah. Which is yeah. So she actually likes it because it's not as trucky as it was. You know, it's kind of a futuristic look. I like the way that they've applied. Yeah, you have the head-up display, which you like. Like some other EV products from General Motors, like the Blazer, it doesn't have Apple CarPlay at all. You noticed it right away. So after a week, what did you think about that?
I really, really do miss CarPlay. That's what I'm used to. Miss to have my music list on. Miss to have, rely on the map. I'm using GPS. This one has a great GPS system.
Yeah.
I've been using it. It's just something I was used to, and this is different.
Yes, it's different, but I think you do get used to it. One thing that I really like on here, and more manufacturers are going toward it, is No, there's no start or stop button or key to turn or anything. You just walk up, you get in, and it just goes. And when you're finished, you put it in the park and just leave. And there's no turning off, and that's pretty cool. It's very, very easy to do.
And you get used to it very quickly.
Yes, you do get used to it. On the outside, I love the style. First of all, it's a lot of people are going to compare this to the F-150 Lightning, which is natural. Two full-size pickup trucks, but that one definitely looks good, but it looks like a regular pickup truck. This one has a little bit more of a modern look for, a futuristic look for a truck, I think. Especially, you get that light bar that goes across the front. Really cool, and those kind of like the underbrow on the lights, they actually light up according to the charge level, even when you're charging this thing. So lots of cool lighting animations on here, lots of function as well. We have the E-trunk. It is nice, if you want to actually lock something away, you have that front area. It isn't as large though as the Lightning, so that one, that's pretty well top of class for frunk. That thing is huge on the Lightning. We have a standard size bed. We have a tonneau cover on this, but what's also unique on this is the flexible midgate that we have. So that's one thing that the Lightning doesn't have, or not many trucks have. And remember our friend Jason? Okay, remember my friend, he had an Avalanche, and it kind of had the similar midgate where you can put it down. And there is some versatility to that, because you can fold everything down and take the glass out even, so it's completely open. Why? Well, maybe you want to move something and you want to even have it within the tailgate, maybe a couch. You can throw that thing right in here, maybe not if it's raining, but you could also just fold one side down or the other and just have the glass still in. So there's lots of flexibility there, and it's easy to do. There's no tools necessary. It can be done in like 20 seconds. So that's a huge bonus as well. So with a massive battery like this, of course, there are other purposes, not just for driving, that you can use this battery for. This has what they call a power-based charging system. So we have up to 10.2 kilowatts of electricity available to us. And whether you want to hook yourself back into the grid, into your house, there's some optional things you have to buy for that, but you can power everything. So whether you're using this as a work truck, for a party truck, camping, all that stuff, you can power anything, and you have so much power to spare because it's such a large battery. So that's a pretty cool thing. You can even get an accessory cable, and you can charge another vehicle from this vehicle, right? So that's a huge thing. Cybertruck. There's a Cybertruck there.
Oh, I prefer this way better.
Oh yeah, I would too, actually. This is kind of in the middle. It's kind of modern, but not like way out there like that thing is. Now, okay, power-wise here, this thing is definitely no slouch. This has 754 horsepower. And 700.
I had to a second guess and ask him again about, is that the real number?
It's 785 pound-feet of torque. It'll make a run to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds for something that weighs like 8,000 pounds. It's insane. Now, in order to achieve that though, there is a mode which is called wide open watts. It's like, wow. And that's basically kind of a launch control. When you actually hit it, it's got this weird Tron-like sound, and then you're ready to launch into another warp speed zone. Yeah, without that, it drives nice. It's smooth for the power.
Very smooth.
Right.
With this one equipped with 24-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Rides up high.
Yeah, it rides up high, but 24 is the only problem with the 24 is that I find you can, like we're gonna go over some bumps here, you can feel every single thing because these wheels are so big. You don't have a lot of rubber to cushion you. Speaking of cushion, well, this is also running on air suspension. And so whenever you park it, it lowers down. It has a really good look when it's actually lowered down, but it can raise itself up 2 inches of a lift. So, good for some moderate off-road activity for sure. With a pickup truck, you may actually tow. A lot of people don't tow with pickup trucks, but some do. Max towing on this, 10,000 pounds, which is 1,500 pounds more than the max towing on the Lightning, which is quite impressive because this has so much more weight to it, and a payload 1,500 pounds for here. So that's around the average for that. If you go into the non-RST, the WT version, that bumps it up from 10,000 to 12,500 for that, because it doesn't have as many of the goodies, and it's a little bit lighter vehicle. You can actually tow more with that. We mentioned range, and that definitely is going to vary depending on the situation. For our use though this week, or Cynthia's use, mainly highway or like 50-50 highway city?
Even more on the highway, actually, pretty consistently.
Okay, more on the highway, and we average 2.6 kilometers per kilowatt, which comes out to real life about 520 kilometers or 325 miles if we are using up the whole pack. We haven't used it that much. We've only driven like 300 kilometers on it, and so yeah, it's really going to depend. It has been cold here, so that's obviously going to make a difference. Now, speaking of highway, one thing I love about this thing, and it comes standard, Cynthia, hit the steering wheel. Yeah, there we go. We got the green light. You know the deal. Super Cruise, completely hands-free driving. We got the nice green light there on on thousands and thousands of miles of mapped highway. It just really takes a lot of stress away from you. And of course, this has a lot of other advanced driving assistance as well. So we're on the freeway right now, but when we're actually driving it in parking lots and things like this, I kind of find that it's actually pretty maneuverable. And one reason why is because we actually have rear wheel steering on here. It's not a huge amount, but it's definitely noticeable for it. Now for the 2025 though, that RST will come with the sidewinder option. So it's the same as the crab walk as the Sierra has and the Hummer, where both wheels will turn, each the same way. Yeah, we have auto lane change on, right? So you can actually turn that off if you want, but no, it's fine. It's fine. It'll actually scan the road to change lanes for you. So yeah, what did you find on driving it and parking it?
Surprisingly, it's very easy. I never had difficult to find parking spot. I never had a hard time to find parking spot. With the camera assist, it's super easy.
Yeah.
Because one main thing for me to driving a big truck is I'm scared to find parking for it. Not even once.
It's got a 360 camera, really, really good. Even the bed camera overhead down onto the hitch area. I wish they actually had washers on them. And we're doing auto lane change again. See how cool is that? All right, let's do a quick list on our likes. I'm gonna start. Styling, absolutely love the styling, especially the lighting on it. It's like a futuristic pickup truck.
I like the interior. Great, nice flow, has everything very accessible, lots of storage, and a great system to use.
I like the utility. You get the e-trunk, you got that flexible midgate, lots of flexibility, tons of utility. That's a big plus.
And also the range. I just love the range. And then, yeah, to me, I used almost a whole week without charging it.
Yes, and once again,
I still have a lot of range left.
For people towing, it's still gonna be really, really welcome. It's gonna, because towing's gonna eat it up, but you have so much to eat. I like the Super Cruise, for sure. It's just so simple, right? Okay, and then one other one I'm going to throw at you because you mentioned it, and I always forget about it, that I really like it, is the vibrating seats on the General Motors products. When it's warning you on something, or if you're backing into something, it vibrates, and it's so much better than an audio alert, I think.
Yeah, it's just something that really brings your attention up. And then
look at this. You see this? He was merging, and it merged. Unbelievable. This system is seriously on point.
And then I forgot to get exit out of the highway because I enjoy it so much.
That's okay. We'll go to the next one. All right, for dislikes, first thing that pops into both of our heads is the CarPlay, or lack of it. I do have to say, you do get used to it, because you can still stream your music on your Bluetooth. You can still get notifications and all that stuff, but it just doesn't have that user interface that we're so used to. That's one thing. Next thing, Cynthia?
I would prefer to have easier access to the camera button, especially coming to the parking.
Yeah, well, I think you're gonna have to get used to that. For so many vehicles are going so menu driven, because they're just putting screens and everything's going through the screens. However, I do like that General Motors has you get redundant climate controls, big knobs. So if you're using this as a work truck, maybe even have gloves on, you can access that. You don't have to worry about doing any of that stuff on the screen. But yeah, a dedicated camera button would be handy, because maybe you want to check out your load in the back while you're driving. Just a quick thing without having to go through any other menus at all. Another thing, no power tailgate, which is quite odd. This does have a multi-purpose tailgate, but with a step, but no power tailgate.
Another thing on my list is the heavy doors. They are actually
They are, even for me, I'm like, oh.
especially on the hill, and
Yeah.
with the kids trying to close that door, it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah, some may think that that's a positive. Hey, guess what?
Safety.
Yeah, you get something nice and secure. And the last thing, which is kind of not really a negative or a dislike, it's a dislike because we can't afford it. Yes, it's that the price of this this RST starts at $117,000 with all your delivery fees and everything. You look at $120,000. So it is not inexpensive. However, there is value here, because if you compare it to what's out there, let's say if you go for the top of the line F-150 Lightning in the Platinum, that one is about $112,000. Okay, so about $8,000 less, but you're getting quite a smaller battery for that. So you can't buy that much battery for $8,000 for what this thing has in it. So there is some value to it. And of course, this is the top of the line. If you want to go for the more base, like the 3WT, like the work truck, that one starts at $78,000. Still not as low as an F-150 Lightning, but more range. It's not cheap to go have a big battery.
Nope.
That's the lesson here. And so people complain, hey, it's like, oh, the range is so low when you're towing. Well, guess what? This is the biggest battery you can get. Are you now a truck girl?
I can definitely picture myself driving this more.
That's impressive.
I used to be a city girl. I don't drive big trucks, but I really enjoy this, so to speak.
Well, yeah. Plus, everyone at the horse barn, they all have pickup trucks, so.
Next thing's tattoo for me.
All right, well, there you go. We converted a city girl into a truck girl. Yeah, what do you think of this truck or any of the electric pickup trucks? Leave a comment below. Hope to see you on the next Everyday Review. Ciao.